Hey guys, welcome to another Jamaican Tales video, a Jamaican living in Germany. It's been about 6 months since I've actually said that intro for a video. There was just a lot of things happening last year, many things that just overwhelmed me and took over pretty much every last minute that I had, and it was just not possible to find the time to actually make YouTube videos. But in this time, a lot of things happened, and one of the biggest things that happened has to do with the very intro, a Jamaican living in Germany. I'm no longer just a Jamaican living in Germany. I am now really a Jamaican living in Germany because I became a German citizen. And that is what I want to share with you guys in this video, sharing with you my experience becoming a German citizen and the many bureaucratic burdens and hurdles that I had to jump over. In a previous video, I shared with you guys that I didn't want to become a German citizen. Even though I love living in this country and I consider it to be one of the best places to live, there was one thing that prevented me from making that extra step to become a German citizen, and it was that I would have to give up my Jamaican citizenship. That was not something that I wanted to do. Thankfully, this was not a requirement in the end because the laws changed. Becoming a dual citizen even as a Jamaican was then possible. The number of years was reduced that you need to be living in Germany, so reduced from like 8 years to 3 years. This law change means that more people would of course start to apply for citizenship. Ahead of these changes to the law, I said, okay, it's time to get this process going. I just contacted them saying, okay, I would like to schedule a meeting because this is like one of the first steps. They evaluate your documents and then they tell you, okay, you are able to actually apply. Sent an email for this, got a response the next day, and they told me, yes, you can schedule an appointment, and the next possible appointment is June 2024, the middle of June. So 6 months later, that was the first appointment that they had. I was like, okay, great. This is Germany, bureaucracy, and it takes time for things to happen, especially when it comes to public service. The surprise came in February when they said, oh, we can offer you an earlier appointment. This appointment was then at the end of February. They gave me a long list of the documents that I needed to bring, birth certificate, proof of residence, the list goes on. In this meeting, it was literally 5 minutes of this man just looking at it. Oh, do you have this? It's like, yep, here it is. Do you have this? Yep, here it is. Well, you have all the documents that you need, so you can actually apply for citizenship. But that's not possible right now because we have a lot of applications that are processing. So we will send you by mail the documents that you need to fill out and further instructions in about April. Let that meeting say, okay, April, the process should get going, and also being blown out of my mind because I'm like, this was a meeting for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, and they wanted me to wait 6 months. In other cities, they actually do this online where you can upload your documents and that's actually checked, and then you're pretty much cleared to actually schedule the appointment to submit the application. I must say I'm proud of myself for not really losing my patience that much. I just contacted them once and it was in June. So I sent them an email asking, okay, I'm not sure if I missed the letter in the mail. We're still processing applications and we can't make any appointments for any new applications. We will contact you in autumn, around October. Another big delay. Like at that point, I was like, oh man, this is a bit frustrating. I was really counting on like, okay, at least maybe somewhere this will actually go through. And then on top of that, that's just for you to submit an application. The actual processing of the application, for some people, this is like 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and so on. So all of that is on top of it. And I'm like, this is not so great. But what could I do? I could only sit and wait until I actually got the information. In November, I finally got this letter. I came home, checked my mailbox. Yes, this is a letter that I've been waiting for all year pretty much. The form was there to actually apply for citizenship. And she also said that I should call and schedule an appointment. I actually got the date for the end of November, like the 28th of November. And then of course, filling out the form and then gathering all the different documents. Something that happened when I was filling out the form is supposed to like my name, and I just switched it around, wrote my middle name instead of my first name. I just went online, searched for the form, and filled it out on my computer, and then I printed it. I was just way too excited and also a bit nervous filling out that form, writing it, and I was like, my penmanship and stuff. This form has a lot of different things in it. Typical information about yourself. Did you study? Where did you live? If you have any children, about my parents, job experience of where have I been working, and so on. Language skills, whether or not I'm actually, how do you translate Straftaten? anything in court or if I've been charged, how much money do you have, where am I getting money from? In order to become a citizen, you have to be able to take care of yourself. That's one of the requirements. So you need to have a job, can be actually getting support from the social assistant. Instructions about how much it costs, 255 euros, by the way. Something that they apparently added new to this process is that we call it the Grundgesetz, so the laws that are fundamental to pretty much everything in Germany. They have some information, some bits that are taken out of it because they said one of the biggest problems was that people did not know anything about this. You do the citizenship test, but you just need to learn the questions and that's it. But whether or not you understand and whether or not you can actually talk about how things are structured in this country or why things are structured the way that they are, the values and of the country, and that's a different question. So when I called to make the appointment, she made this also very clear. Said, okay, those two last pages on the form, make sure that you read it, make sure that you understand it, make sure that you're familiar with it, that you can actually talk about it, you can discuss it, you can answer questions about it, because this is going to be the first part of submitting the application. So it's pretty much you do the citizenship test, the written one, and now it's like an oral version of that, where before you can submit the application, they ask you all these questions to make sure that you're familiar with how things operate in the Bundesrepublik Deutschland. Showed up for the appointment, and as she said, the first 10 minutes was just me being interviewed, asking me questions about Germany. That was insane because I sometimes get overwhelmed when I have to speak German. And the worst thing about this is that this is not just normal everyday German. This is German with law and like all these crazy, so my brain sometimes was like, oh no, what's the word for this? And I was a bit nervous because of that, but I actually did pretty well and I could answer pretty much most, if not all, of the questions. Of course, not exactly with the words that I wanted and I should have used, but I could answer them. And at the end, she said, okay, you did a good job. We can now proceed to the actual application. And that's when the process started with the good old German bureaucracy of just handing papers. And that was pretty much it. She took all the documents and said, okay, I'm going to make a copy. You will hear from me whenever we make progress with your application. I felt good because I'm like, yes, that is finally out of the way. I've submitted the application. I had to wait a long time, but I somehow was at the top of the list as one of the very first persons actually to be able to submit their application. Just submitted all my documents for becoming a citizen in Germany. Now I wait. After submitting the application on the 28th of November, I was no longer really thinking about it. If you read on the internet in terms of how long this process takes, most times you'll see at least 6 months. A year is more realistic. That's the usual number that you see, and that's kind of what I had in my head as well. Little did I know that I was gonna get the ultimate Christmas present. I went away for Christmas and I came back on Christmas Day. I looked in my mailbox and I was like, oh, there's a letter. Came up to my apartment and I read this letter and I was like, wait, what did I just read? And then I put it down like for a couple of minutes and then I read it again because I was like, no, this can't be real. This is like 3 weeks later. This letter was actually sent on the 16th of November. 2 weeks and a couple of days later, entire citizenship application was processed. I was like, no, this can't be real. That's how quickly this process went by. I was really shocked. I was on top of the world. I was super happy. During Christmas and New Year's, nothing happens in Germany, especially in public service. And stupid me, I was still calling to try to make an appointment, but of course nobody was in the office. It's a big day. Just ahead of me is a building in which I will walk in as a Jamaican citizen and walk out not only as a Jamaican citizen, but also as a German citizen. Let's go. I went there on the 6th of January to collect this document, which pretty much says that Oshando Johnson is now a citizen of Germany. When I went to collect it, the process was pretty much straightforward. I had to give, for example, my passport and stuff just for verification. I'm going to ask you to stand and you're going to repeat after me. Which is, you could say, the Pledge of Allegiance to Germany. I repeated what she said, and then after that, she handed me the certificate, and that was it. Officially a German citizen. I was like sitting there trying to be like really calm, trying to contain the excitement. But deep down, I was just jumping like a little child because I'm like, yes! I'm a German citizen! It's official. I'm a German citizen. Got the certificate. My appointment to apply for my passport and my ID card is coming up in a couple of days. Wow! Somehow in disbelief, but super happy. and thrilled and excited. I've never really thought about the citizenship process, but I would think, you don't just get a certificate, but you should also, get a passport at the same time. But no, that's not how it works in this country. You have to apply for that differently. I also have that here, but this we're going to talk about in a different video. But for now, let's get back to the main topic at hand, this thing. But what does it really mean to become a German citizen? It's interesting, the timing, because in February is going to be the elections in Germany, and I get to participate in that. I even got the letter saying that I'm registered and I can vote and where I should vote. To know that the place that I've been living in for all these years, that I can now actually participate in the democracy and in the election. So excited about that. This comes with a lot more security, because then living here, even though I had a permanent resident card before I became a citizen, it's still kind of shaky, because you can pretty much get kicked out anytime, you could say. But becoming a German citizen really feels like I've really integrated into the society. I'm really happy for that I no longer need to be so worried about, permits and what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed. This really opens a lot of doors, and pretty much all of this country, and you could even say by extension all of the European Union. Professionally, there are new possibilities that are there because I am now a citizen of Germany. Another thing that comes with being a citizen is, of course, the benign thing about the freedom of movement. So within the EU, and of course the possibilities to travel with a German passport in comparison to a Jamaican passport are ridiculous. With a Jamaican passport, currently I can visit 89 countries. And with the German passport, it's now like 192, I think is the number thereabout. And also, even when you think about diplomatic relationships and the protections that exist, if for whatever reason something happens and I'm stuck in whatever country, like literally I will get picked up by, some German military. And that's it blows my mind. I mean, it's not like this is not also the same in Jamaica, but I definitely think in Germany it's like a different level of urgency. In so many videos I've said the main reason I came to this country was because I wanted to do my master's and I wanted to learn a new language, to experience a new culture. I've definitely invested a lot of time, effort, and so many things in making life in Germany. All of those things I've been doing, and I've been really putting in everything I possibly could. And to be in the situation now where I can say I'm a citizen of this country, it kind of makes me feel like I accomplished what I was working towards. It doesn't mean that my German is perfect, and it doesn't mean that I know everything about this country. It's gonna be a continuing process of learning the language, learning more about this country, about the people, about the culture, and so on. But it's definitely a big milestone along that journey to say that, you've really been integrated. It's also really seals it that, this is really my home. It just hits me differently to know that Germany is home now, like really, really home. Before, of course, it was always home, but it's like now, it's like there's a stamp, there's a document, there's a passport to prove, and even like an ID card to say that, this is my home now. And that's really a good feeling. I'm really excited about what this will bring with it, and looking forward to what's ahead. You guys can look out for some more videos about this journey. Thank you guys so much for coming along with this Jamaican Tales journey. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and see you in the next Jamaican Tales. And it's really gonna be a Jamaican Tales video.